chosen different kind of like camps right now. In 2022, with Wike, who wanted to be the presidential candidate of the PDP, he got sort of like betrayed, and his next move changed everything for PDP, even up to this moment. First, Wike himself, being a governor at the time, was able to convince, other 4 PDP governors to pitch their tent, betray their party, pit their tent with the APC presidential candidate, and that's Tinubu, with whatever they were promised, I don't know, until when Tinubu came to power. Wike became minister, and then Makinde Ibadan, Seyi Makinde, decided that they've had enough. Tinubu is a disappointment. It's a total failure. And it doesn't make any sense for anyone with any kind of like a ounce of brain and their score to continue to root for Tinubu. But with Wike disagreed with that. Wike's agenda, now that Makinde is making us kind of like realize, this is possibly what many people already projected or speculated or already knew. But coming from somebody who was part of the entire scheme plan, indeed could be a little bit, refreshing, because it's always going to come to light anyway, right? So Makinde, who joined the G-string governors, they were called G5 governors. I call them G-string governors because they were just pure, as useless as, a thing. Anyway, so they had a deal with Kolu. I don't know about the deal. But with Wike, Tinubu had fulfilled even beyond what he pledged to them. So it is better on them, on their own side, to keep to that agreement beyond 2023. Now 2027. Makinde and others were doing their best to rearrange the party, while Wike kept doing all he could to ensure that the party never actually really stands. PDP. So Makinde, who is also having a presidential ambition, according to the feelers, he wants to be president. And he feels like he's qualified to be president of Nigeria, not now that Tinubu is running a sectional government. He didn't put it that way, but we'll get to that part. A sectional government, an incompetent government that is taking Nigeria nowhere, a government of no purpose. It won't make any sense for anybody to continue to defend such a government. So these and others are considered as the reasons why the former 2 jolly good fellows, partners in crime, have now become, sworn enemies. But where is this headed? We'll find out. So let's start with Makinde's presser. He called a media chat, like with a Wike. He called one in Ibadan today, where he answered questions about almost everything, including the country, Tinubu and others. But you're not going to hear all of that, right? We're just going to pick out the specifics and deal with that. So thank you so much for joining me. Remember, right, if you haven't really shared this broadcast, please do. It's a reminder, okay? Like it as well, all right? I appreciate you being here, and I hope you do appreciate me being here too, right? So let's get started. Makinde. Oh, hang on. Before I even kind of like delve into it. So Makinde has made us realize that there was actually a meeting. They had a meeting concerning Tinubu's plot. And Tinubu told him that a lot of other people are already joining him. So meaning Makinde and others should possibly join. And he said, no, I won't be joining. And then it was like, you've appointed somebody to come and help you organize APC in Oyo State. That is the Minister of Darkness, Benkelemes, right? That he doesn't even have the capacity to be governor or to organize APC in the state. And Tinubu threw it at him straight up and said, no, I'm not expecting Bayo Adelabu to fix APC in Oyo State. I want you, Seyi, to fix APC for me in Oyo State. That kind of a mafia move. You could read it, right? Mafia move. I know you are in PDP, but you are my own now. Like, we work together in 2022. So this time around, I trust you. You will do it for me. That means, doesn't matter if you are like in the PDP, that he rejected that according to him. But with a Wike pledged to do exactly what we are now witnessing, right? So let's see, you can find kind of like a brief us. Let's start with this.
We are just to support you. However, let me say this. If you've selected the Minister of Power because you want him to help you organize the APC in Oyo State, he doesn't have the capacity. I told the president. He said, no, Seyi, it's you that I want to help me organize APC in Oyo State. I said, no, sir, I can never help you organize APC in Oyo State because I am of the PDP. So, if we have a government of national unity, a government of national competence, you know, we will have been in a very different environment right now. And let me just mention again this issue of Wike. This.
Your friend.
Huh?
Your friend Wike.
My friend Wike. Okay. So this was the exact first contract that Mobile gave to Macon. I was 29. It was $1 million. Within that 1 year, I made $1 million in my pocket. I was 29. 1997. Wike perhaps at that time just left. He just left law school, and then his next job after that was local government chairman. And the trajectory was, yeah, I don't beef anybody. But the real issue is that I was in a meeting with the president and Wike. And I'm saying this, you know, in an open chat. The president's chief of staff was also in that meeting, and a few others. And Wike said to the president that, well, sir, I will hold PDP for you, you know, against 2027. I was in shock. So we got up, we got to the veranda. I said, Wike, did we agree to this? I don't like talking about people, and I will not talk about people or talk about events. But I'll talk about the real issue. The real issue is that Wike would like to support the president for 2027. That's fine. It is within his right to do that. But also some of us that want to, you know, ensure that democracy survives in Nigeria. We don't drift into a one-party state, and we want to ensure that PDP survives. It should also allow us to do our own thing. That is just the issue between me and Wike. And I confided in a mutual friend of us after that meeting. And I kept thinking, okay, I mean, the president did not ask him, do this for me. He was the one that volunteered that I will do that. So when I was telling our mutual friend, I said, look, maybe he was talking about an errand that the president never sent him. So let's watch, let's engage him. Let's see if he will back off. But he never did. So after he didn't back off, I said, well, now it's time to confront him. Because I told him from that day that I will never be a part of this. And that is why I will not be supporting the president for 2027. Wike can support him, he's within his right, but also it is within my own right to decide within the political space who I will support or what I will do in 2027.
Your Excellency, now we
You see, politics here where they go. If we are being kind of like, truthful, politics here where they go. Like politics is crazy, and Nigerian politics is like even crazier. Do you get what I mean? There is no ideology. No, there's no ideology behind all these political parties. They are just group of opportunists, chancers who are able to form a group like that as they are, right? And they call themselves political parties. Their political parties in Nigeria is mostly defined by the intention or character of whoever they call their leader at that time. So there's no real ideology. In 2022, 5 PDP governors, after Wike got, beaten at their own party primaries, presidential primaries, he was so enraged, he was mad because, they played in politics. And the party discipline, the party loyalty, the stuff that ordinarily they will tell you we are different from them, all of that didn't matter anymore. What was most important at the time was their interest. And what was their interest? What was the end goal? They premised their own advocacy then on Southern presidency. The Southern Nigeria must produce its next president. They must be the next Southern this or that. Fierce. But within that space, all of them ignored the fact that they actually pledged to work against their own political party for a different political party simply because one of them lost presidential, contest or presidential primaries contest. I'm saying this because then it made sense to people like Wike, Seyi, that for the interest of, but now it's not making sense to him anymore for God knows what. But politics again. Seyi is from the southern part of Nigeria. Tinubu is from southern part of Nigeria. So the argument of southern presidency is no longer tenable. So what would Seyi at this point ask for now that Tinubu is probably already in power, so to say? So what is that thing that missed in between them? You can't really tell. But right now, saving PDP that they couldn't save in 2022, 2023, saving it now. The same PDP, Seyi and others contributed in destroying, because they all did, right? And then it didn't matter. Whatever happened to PDP, it didn't matter. Maybe we'll come back and rebuild it because they believe they had the power. Like, you know what? After this one, we'll come back later. What were they thinking? That Tinubu would then sit back after benefiting from that treasury. Do you get what I mean? That kind of like a betrayal of their own political party. Like, it will now value them more like what is going to let go and allow PDP to build up again. What were they thinking? This is me just asking myself a rhetorical question anyway. So, Tinubu went to work to ensure that the PDP is completely decimated and possibly buried. But now, five PDP governors at the time, they pledged to deliver their state to Tinubu in return for God knows what. Wike did. And then I think Makinde also did. To ensure, but the others, the three others, Plateau State of Autumn, Enugu of Ogwani, Ipeazu of Abia, they couldn't deliver, of course. Obedience, wave and all that swept the land then, right? Now, PDP is so like it has become like a ghost, so to say. And the clash, or somehow they are still actually believing or expecting that Tinubu should ease up his stranglehold on opposition parties so that they could function. The same thing, the same destruction they actually pretty much like facilitated. So here is Makinde asking Tinubu to call his minister to order. Which one? The one that signed 8 years contracts of ensuring that if PDP survive that 8 years, that means they can't die because they won't survive it. But not without a fight too, because yeah, Makinde and others feels like they will still fight, but is the fight even legitimate anymore?
You know what is going on, because you yourself mentioned it, that you know, the country is fast moving towards a one-party state. Does PDP have any chance?
Well, the president has the power to call his minister to order. He said, look, allow democracy to survive in Nigeria. And by the way PDP is today, there is no faction in PDP. We held a convention here in Ibadan. We gave adequate notice to INEC, which is all that we're required to do under the law. So, it may take INEC some time if they choose, you know, to behave like the ostrich, you know, bury their head and the whole of their body is outside. And the current INEC chairman, the job is even very difficult to start with. Now to add all of these things that they're not supposed to add. They basically, this meeting that you said they called the two factions together, they played our people. They invited them and said, we want to engage with the leadership of PDP. And then they got there and found out that they called the Anyanwu and Co. I said, that's even silly to start with. I mean, pardon my language. Sometimes when I get upset, I can speak off. No. So let me finish with Shina. So, why did they not call Damagun? Maybe it was Anyanwu that was the secretary when Damagun was there. Yes. And the notice that went to INEC was a notice signed by both Damagun and Anyanwu. I wanted to basically, you know, ask that they expel Anyanwu at NEC. But people, you know, leaders came and said, look, let us not do that. Let's get the two of them together, you know, and all of that. So the Supreme Court already said whoever is your secretary is the internal affair of the party. There's a Supreme Court judgment on SDP how many days ago saying exactly the same thing. So we had a proper convention here, and Wike and the rest of those people were expelled, and they've been expelled. Even if the court says, look, the convention is not valid, which I don't think is possible, because up to the Supreme Court already said, look, internal affairs of the party is internal affairs of the party. So they can only delay.
So the wala is not ending anytime soon. So before this program, there's this news report that INEC said they won't recognize Turaki. That is the convention that Seyi Makinde is talking about. The one they had in Ibadan last month. Yeah, INEC said they won't, and they are relying on a court order that said there shouldn't be that convention, the blah, the blah. So the wala continues. So what about his own ambition? He wanted to be president himself. Is that still a reality, or it is just an imagination of his? Here is his answer.
Produce Baba Falai and Shinkafi, and the environment became instantly competitive. So I'm not fixated on running or not running.
But if the PDP is right and well,
Right now, if I correctly calibrate the environment, we have to go beyond its PDP. We have to channel our energy towards having a competitive political environment.
Okay.
And that means we need to talk across board. We need to start talking about survival of democracy in Nigeria. Individual ambition, it's tertiary, not even secondary. It's, everybody, we should keep talking, even